Hey Mama, Jocelyn here with Positivity in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast, and I am excited to jump into today's episode. It's probably not going to be quite as long as you would hope. Nonetheless, there is still some good meat and tips in it that can help you in this aspect during the first trimester. This is an episode that I would highly encourage you to pop some earbuds in and listen to without little ears. But nonetheless, let's jump into intimacy in the first trimester of pregnancy. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, host of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. I help pregnant women and mothers to find positivity in their season of life through changing their thoughts to work for them and not against them. I help mothers find the small, doable steps in thought and action without making drastic changes to their everyday mom life, and I can help you. Thanks for joining. If you're new to the podcast, my name is Jocelyn, and I am currently pregnant with our fifth baby. And when it came to this fifth pregnancy, there were 4 areas I really wanted to try harder to be a little better in than I had in the past pregnancies. And those 4 areas were with physical health. I wanted to exercise more. I wanted to have better mental thoughts was the second one. I wanted to eat better, and I also wanted to improve in intimacy and in the sex life. In the past pregnancies, I have kind of let the ball drop on, especially that last one, the intimacy. And I really wanted this 5th try to have that go better. Technically, it's my 6th pregnancy because I had a miscarriage in there, but nonetheless, 5th baby. And so that was one of my goals going into this 5th pregnancy, is to try and do better in that department, in that area. And I kind of had hoped that the sickness phase was going to be a little better this time around. And I was brutally woken up that it was not better. It was terrible. That first trimester was very hard. I still tried to do all of the good mental things, and it did help. But I also wanted to try and be better at intimacy. But let me tell you something, which if you're in this phase, you already know. When you feel sick, you don't feel like being intimate or doing anything at all. And I felt that. And there were times when I was just so grouchy. And I didn't want to be touched. I felt nauseous at any smell, any good or bad smell on or near my husband. And I was just completely turned off. My libido was 0. And yes, this is my 5th time around when I was going to try and make it better. And so here I am feeling like, oh my goodness, this is so hard. I don't know how I'm going to make this aspect of my marriage better. And lo and behold, though, God will reveal things to you. And I think as you listen to this episode, or as you continue to think about it, there will be something revealed to you that you can implement or that can help you in this aspect. And there was something that was revealed to me that really helped me in this aspect. And that was to pay attention to the times that I felt good. So there weren't a lot, but there were a few windows of a day when I felt, well, not a few. There was only really one. I actually have done better in the morning. And as the day goes on, my sickness just gets worse. And by evening, it's terrible. And so that was my clue. Okay, if you're doing good in the morning, why don't you shift that intimate time to the morning? So I decided to shift that instead of having intimacy, whatever the way to say that is. In the evening, we shifted it to the morning at a time that I did better. Do you have a pocket of time or a window during this sick phase where you feel just a little bit better? pay attention to that window and make things work during that window. If you have to get up a little earlier, that's fine. If you have to get creative on a lunch break, that's fine. If you have to put a movie on for your kids in the afternoon, I don't know. But work something out to find those times where you're kind of a little bit better. Or if you realize that, hey, after I eat, I do okay. So let me eat something real quick and then maybe I'll be okay for a minute. But pay attention. So in the morning I'd wake up and I had to eat something. So I'd quickly eat a banana or some almonds or both and drink some water. And that would really help me. And I wouldn't say that my libido was still very great because my body just, that time is hard. But I was able to meet that need for my husband and be a little bit better at being present than I have in any other past pregnancy. And it was kind of rewarding that I was finding success in that way, even though, for me, I wasn't like hitting the amazing part of it all the time. Nonetheless, I was able to find those pockets to meet that need for my husband and feel like I was still contributing in my marriage instead of letting it just completely fall off the rocker. Now, we also cut back, but my husband also has been very understanding. And this might be where a conversation is important. He has been understanding, knowing that when I get sick, and it's really hard for me. And so we didn't do it as often, which for me, that was nice because I didn't have to like mentally think about it or prepare for it very often. And when I did, I tried to fit it in these pockets of time. So maybe just have a conversation with your husband and say, like, this is just a season. I really am trying, but I am really sick. I'm going to work with you the best that I can and go from there. And sometimes, like, maybe you don't even have to be intimate, but just, like, rub your husband and massage him and do things that way. Humans can be stimulated in multiple ways, as you probably know, and it doesn't always require intercourse. Those could be other ways to meet his needs if you just don't feel like you can stomach it. Anyway, so that's my biggest tip, is to find pockets of time when you do okay and fit it in. Work to fit it in, even though you are miserable. Even just weekly, or work out with your husband what seems doable for each of you during the season, but also realize it's just a season. And even though it feels like this season is going on forever and will last forever, it doesn't. And at the end, you get an amazing miracle. That was something I had to really push into my brain, was that this doesn't last forever. But during those early weeks, it felt like it was going to last forever, and I was absolutely miserable. I know what it feels like to be in that misery and to have that misery kind of suck your mental brain to where you don't feel positive at all. And if you are feeling that way, I encourage you to look up my morning sickness mini course. It's the top link in the show notes, and it can help you with many exercises. They're not physical exercises, they're mental exercises that help you run through positivity and find more positivity during pregnancy, especially during that sick phase. There are 42 videos in it, which should get you through 6 weeks of sickness, and they can be repeated. You're going to like some of them more than others, just because as people, we like certain things more than, or aspects of learning and encouraging our brain than others. So they can be repeated as many times as you want. And anyway, it's just another way to help mentally uplift you when you're feeling really negative during this first trimester, which is so hard. But you can do it, mama. You can still keep your marriage. I wouldn't say the first trimester is building your marriage, but I would call it maintaining. You can maintain your marriage and that intimacy during, like, even when you feel sick, by finding pockets of time, feeling and thinking on the revelation that God has given you for how you can meet your husband's needs during this time. And yeah, I'm cheering for you. It is not easy, but I think it will, I know it will give you so many benefits to work on your marriage, even in little aspects while you are sick. So thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. But most of all, thank you for applying what you've heard into your own life to find more positivity during pregnancy and in a lot of these areas that can be really difficult when you just don't feel good. Good luck, Mama. Until next time. Thank you for being a part of the Positive in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast, for listening, for sharing, and most of all, for applying these tools into your own life to improve your own happiness so that you can find your own better thoughts for a better you in a positive pregnancy, in losing that stubborn baby weight, and becoming the mom you desire to be through taking small steps in thought and action to reach your goals. If you are a mother who has an inner desire to enjoy motherhood and pregnancy better, but you are having difficulty figuring it out, I can help you. I can help you find the small, doable steps without drastic changes to your everyday mom life. Reach out, let's connect, and let's see you move forward. My name is Jocelyn, and I thank you for listening. Until next time.